Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it wasn't that long ago. We actually made two videos on this, almost like a year apart, where we went over the rune system in Hearthstone. It's failed, it's not working. And not too long after this video went live, like 3 months ago, we went from only rainbow to a myriad of different archetypes working at Deathlight. I kind of wanted to go over because it's just kind of fascinating how, you know, we went from being right about this to wrong about this, but at the same time, I'm still not really convinced I'm wrong about it, because we'll see that there's a common theme with everything going on with Deathlight right now. The class that I love, I still play pretty much nonstop and ladder when I play standard. But anyways, we're gonna go into all that. If you enjoy the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like, it helps us out a lot as we're on the road to 86,000 subscribers. So yeah, we went over, like, you know, the triple rune cards had left standard. It hadn't worked out a ton. But if you take a look at HS Replay, where Deathlight, surprisingly, with its validity right now, across all ranks, not quite at 50%, we went from like just rainbow being like everything to quite a few Deathlight decks emerging over the past couple of months. We have a Razzle Dazzle Deathlight. Why do they say that? That's just Deathlight. We'll get into that in a second, but I want to see which one this is. I'm gonna assume it's Double Frost, right? Double Frost is probably the most popular and highest win rate deck out there. So yeah, Double Frost right out the gate. The best Deathlight deck is utilizing that rune system, right? To Frost runes, if you go a bit lower, Highlander is a rainbow. We also have Rainbow that's playable. Plague is like double unholy. And if you look at HS Guru, which is a better way to sort for specific decks, Diamond through Legend the past week of like playable decent decks, again, Double Frost, you have like Horn of Winter, Marrow Manipulator, but again, cards that were run like or aren't new at all. Like there's one Double Frost card last set at least, and it sees 0 play. Buttons, I guess, is rainbow, so it's, yeah, it doesn't even run the Climactic Necrotic Explosion payoff card, although this version does, so there is some validity to that. We have Highlander Deathlight, which again runs rainbow. And then you got down the bottom here, the decks that I play, of course, more often than not, Triple Blood, which has made a comeback, and Double Blood, which is also pretty darn good. And I know the win rate's pretty low here, like 49%, but my last like 22, I'm 16-6, although I was watching Theo on his stream yesterday, and he's at like 40%. So deck's probably, well, most definitely the worst of the bunch, but hey, there's a lot of different flavor. So it's like, okay, the rune system's doing great. We got double rune decks, triple rune decks. You were wrong this whole time, Zeddy, so I gotta admit, I'm wrong. But am I really? Is it really the rune system thriving? Because let's take a little bit of a deep dive on these decks, starting off with the most popular deck, which isn't really that hard carried by, you know, the rune system. Mana Chain on Horn of Winter, pretty nice, as well as, you know, Pyroblast for 6, pretty good. But if you take a look at the actual corpse or rune system utilized by this deck, it's not really about the frost. It's just about spells that help you get your Razzle Dazzler going, right? That's what it's all about for the most part. And of course, cheating out Reska, which is a busted card. So then we take a look at Double Blood and how does it utilize its Double Blood or cards. And I'll say it uses it better, although the deck is worse. Corpse Explosion and Soul Stealer are pretty nice cards. Soul Stealer in particular, clearing that board. But at the end of the day, the main thing we're trying to do here is, again, utilize buttons, utilize our spell schools, and it's the shaman cards, right? Razzle Dazzler just helps enable this deck as well. So again, the rune system kind of coming into play, but we're not really seeing the Triple Blood part of it. So let's look at Triple Blood. Triple Blood as well. Playable, kind of ish. At least if you look at the win rates, it's playable. And again, it's all about Razzle Dazzler. That's what I'm trying to get at. Every single deck right now is completely propped up by the shaman package, where it's not so much about the you know, your runes. This kind of gives you the flavor of the deck, whereas every deck is basically built the same. You got your 1s and 2s, you got your removal, and then you got your Razzle Dazzler, the spell schools to go with it. You got Marin, because Marin goes into every deck except at Frost, because it's not super fast. And again, it's just like that. It is cool to see, and like Reno, again, very similar, although not as reliant on the Razzle Dazzler. It is in there, and of course, Marin, and basically, it takes a while to know exactly which Deathlight deck you're playing because they all open up the same for the most part. And that's kind of the funny thing is we have all these different rune decks now, but they all feel the exact same. They just have a slightly different flavor. And to me, the rune system was always about to be more defining. These decks would play quite differently. Because if you look at like the older triple rune cards, they played very, very differently from each other. Mograine, I feel like, would change everything if it was in standard, because you get that inevitability where that triple blood deck doesn't. But again, why wouldn't you just play the Razzle Dazzle package? It's absolutely busted. And you go for the triple frost, well, they actually have access to the best card, and it's just not worth it. You don't see triple frost really emerge as a top playable deck, so that's not really working out so great. And if you're looking at triple unholy, it would definitely be Lord Marrowguard. This card was nuts, and way more about just getting a lot of tokens and probably be less built around. But again, Razzle Dazzle would just play into that. So again, it's just, to me, it's kind of funny to see how everything in Deathlight is just completely contingent on, let's just be honest here, a completely broken card for the fact that, you know, this card at 6 mana at the bare minimum summons a 5 cost. And I'll just keep showing Jandis and how ridiculous it was. Like, yeah, Ro could shadow step that, you know, and abuse it more. And again, it's always shadow step, that son of a gun. And it got nerfed to 6, but I don't know how to feel about it, right? Like, I kind of wanted to put this out there of like, how do we feel about Deathlight being propped up by just an insane mana stat bomb in every archetype, regardless of runes? It's just dominant in the class. And to me, it's kind of cool that it's enabled all the other rune cards. Maybe we'll get some more double runes. We haven't had a new triple rune card since, well, Climactic Necrotic Explosion. It's been a long ass time. And I don't know, I just thought we'd talk about it. It's very slow right now. And just, yeah, the take on how do you feel about it is really interesting that a card like Horizon's Edge, 4 mana, DL15, is seeing pretty limited play in most of these decks, right? The Razzle Dazzler, that's just what you want to focus on, and that's all that it's really been doing. That's the class, and even Shaman, they use it too, and it's really good there, but it just feels like it's Deathlight's identity right now, more so than the rune system, which I always thought was going to be the major defining thing of the class. It just seems to be more of a flavor thing now than, yeah, a deck archetype defining style of thing, because you look at every deck, it's basically the same, just with a few little different colors here and there. So let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below. I gotta finish my standard legend climb, so we'll probably have a gameplay video, maybe with more Death Knight, because I'm obsessed with Death Knight, but that's just the way it is. Or, I don't know, let me know what you guys want to see. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.